So, yeah. First things first. Get myself a coffee. Good old Tim Hortons coffee. So this is the scoop. I have had my van, my house, engine ripped apart, I don't know, at least a few times. 3 times, 4 times, less than 5. Anyhow, I have an intake manifold issue. So this has been taken off the vehicle before. There's a new one on there. I think it's like, I don't know how many kilometers, over 100 for sure, because I've done a lot of traveling. Anyways, and around where the thermostat housing sits, and there's 2 bolts that go in there that hold the thermostat in place, but there's like layers, and then you around the crack, like you can, the seam, I don't know how you want to put it, there is some antifreeze leaking out. Not pissing out like crazy, it's just like a slow leak, and I'm keeping an eye on the reservoir to make sure that the level doesn't go down too drastic in the antifreeze compartment. But it's been like kind of dripping down into like where the engine kind of has like a little pocket. I'm not going to say the technical terms because I'm not a mechanic at the end of the day. I do know a little bit so I can get by. I did change the thermostat in Walmart parking lot in Florida, actually, because I overheated. So anyways, yeah, I just had the vehicle recently looked at for an ABS light and then a serpentine belt swap out, and that's when they found that there was leaks happening in around that gasket in the thermostat housing area, rather, which there's gaskets in there, blah blah blah. So that's going to cost, I think I can get the kit and the intake manifold for $407 Canadian. And then the labor will be about 3 or 4 hours to rip it apart, put it back together. I'm going to try to take as much apart as I can outside the garage because I know the fellas, and then they're going to take it from there. So that'll help a little bit. But right now, it's like a financial hit with that. So like, let's say about $800 or something, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, less than 1,000, I'm going to say. Like, I don't even know how people do it with like a house or whatever, paying for apartment and rent in today's world, and then all of a sudden they have a vehicle that they do payments. I don't do payments. This is a 2009 Ford Econoline E150. That's what I purchased 3 years ago, and yes, I put money into it, maintenance, like just regular things, but like anything engine related, like you don't ever want to hear that shit. And the last like few years that when I had the intake manifold swapped out the first time, it was a shit show, and it cost me like a couple thousand. Like, it was pretty disgusting. I didn't take it to like a small garage. I took it to a dealership, so I knew I was going to pay more per hour. Anyways, this will be the step 1. I'm going to go into Canadian Tire. I'm going to get a bottle of like a leak seal stuff. I looked online. I have used this stuff before. Mixed reviews. Some people or mechanics, whatever, people that work on vehicles say, don't put that shit in there. I had done it, like I said, a while back. I need a temporary fix, and I know it's just a temporary fix for right now, just so that it's like, you know, plugging up a bit of the areas that it's, because it's like, I think 2 spots where it's leaking in around that same spot. And I know, like, I've read so many reviews on it. It could be like, you know, worse in the long run, especially whoever the mechanic is that has to like tear the shit apart. I understand that. It's going to be like seeing all that shit and everywhere. And anyways, I need a temporary fix right now. Just, again, temporary. I'm very well aware. But yeah, I'm going to throw that in my reservoir for my, in the antifreeze, and then let that circulate through the engine and hopefully slow down the little leaks that's going on. So let's go into Canadian Tire. Well, so I got the, stuff here. I noticed that the reservoir has got enough inside there, so I did buy a jug of this. I'm just going to throw this in on the floorboard, and then I'm going to get crack-a-lackin' and put the no leak, I'm not sure what you call it, right beside toilet paper, because why not? In case it makes a mess and easy cleanup. Alright, let's see if we can. So basically, I walked around for a little bit and just let the engine cool, and we're good to go. So I'm going to, I don't know if you can see, So because this is a bigger engine, it says on the directions for a 4-cylinder vehicle to use half of this stuff. So I'm going to use all of it. And then to run the engine, like I said, 15 minutes. And then top up the rad once that is done, which it's pretty level right now, but we'll see. I forgot to shake it. So $11.99 I paid for this. It was on sale, so for all makes and models. And like I said, temporary fix. Child safety lock, apparently. It said that with this, you can pour it directly into the reservoir if you don't have access to the actual rad itself. So that's why I'm pouring it into here. It said either or. Drink up, baby. Make sure you put your cap on. All right, let's run this shit. It's been about 15-20 minutes. So I'm just getting my van situated here. Put on another coat. I wear the other coat so that I don't get a good coat dirty. So, what you should do, I just had a little bite to eat, hanging out in the van, just getting shit organized to go on the move again. I gotta go do a couple of things, but what you want to do is make sure that I have my hood down, just because if I had it up, I mean, sometimes this has happened in history. I would have my hood up and hanging out in the van, and people might think that there's something going on and they want to help, you know. That's always nice. So what I'm going to do now is pop this hood. So just going to pop the hood and give a check. Make sure that the level of the reservoir, if it's, it shouldn't be, the engine shouldn't be on. But I'm just going to take a look right now just to see where we're at for that. So just hang tight for a second. Okay, so I didn't put any rad fluid in, and then I put the no leak stuff. And you can see it's pretty maxed out right there, so I'm not going to throw any. Obviously the engine's on, so it's not going to give like an accurate reading because the pressure is in there, but either way, it's the worst video ever, sorry everyone. I'm pretty happy with throwing that in just as a temporary fix. I'll show you another video. Like, you have to remove this. You can take the clamp off right there and kind of see on an angle into where the thermostat housing is. I mean, I could kind of flip you around. You can see the alternator. If you know anything about vehicles, you know that the alternator is kind of in the way, but I'll remove that and I'll show you that because I gotta take a look and see for leakage, like after the van sits for a little bit of time. But anyways, let's see what happens next. Fingers crossed that slows down those two leaks and around that area. So laters.